What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only Ash Said It. AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys so very much for all of your love and support. Over 1,400 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this would be possible without you guys, so I thank you so, so very much. And yes, we're still living a bit of a quarantine life, we're dealing with this COVID-19 stuff, but it doesn't mean that you can't still get your groove on, all right? Can't get some good vibrations going. And so today I have with me the wonderfully talented Devin Kirtz. Hey, Devin.
You.
How you doing today?
Life is good. Life is a little weird, but I mean, I'm good in general. How you doing?
I'm cool. I'm cooling it. I'm chilling it. We're making the best out of a crazy situation.
Right.
We are doing that.
That's all we could do.
Yes. What part of the country are you holding down right now?
I'm in Los Angeles. I'm close to downtown LA, but from Long Beach.
Oh wow! So you got some beautiful weather out there. Okay, I see you. Getting some waves and stuff.
It's hot right now. I'm not complaining because we also were inside, so weather makes no difference at the moment. But it got like to 109 yesterday.
Yikes! And see, I was just out there.
The apocalypse continues.
It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, Devin. So we're talking all about you, your love for music, you as a recording artist, as a songwriter. So the first question up to bat is, when did your love for music start?
I mean, it's forever. Like literally, I learned everything. I learned to talk from music. I learned, I speak multiple languages, but my mom's side of the family's from Argentina. So my grandma lived with us growing up, and she would always play her Argentine records. And my parents were super into oldies. So I just grew up on a lot of Motown, and we just never stopped in the household. So it honestly was from birth.
Gotcha.
I was forced into it.
So from that point on, when did you decide that this was going to be your career? This is what you were really going to delve into?
Well, it was strange. I was playing professional soccer for almost 5 years actually, and I would be on the road, and while everybody was out and partying and doing their thing or whatever, I just would always travel with like either guitar or ukulele, and I would just be writing. Not that I didn't go out and party, I'm not gonna lie, but like a lot of the times I would love to just stay in and write. And then I started taking it a little more seriously, and I just realized, I'm like, wow, like I've got something here. And I ended up getting like some looks from the labels and stuff like that. And just I only recorded one song, and I did like one YouTube video, and labels were hitting me up like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, nah, like I do this for fun. I play soccer though. And then I started just like getting way more and more serious, and I was putting 50% into soccer, 50% into music, and it was no question. Like I knew I had to put 100% into something, and so like I had to do what made me happiest.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. What would you say was your biggest hurdle in the beginning?
Biggest hurdle for sure was the industry changing, like, right as I was coming into it. It was like, it had really shifted in general, just because, like, I mean, social media was just, like, becoming such a different beast in general, that people were realizing, like, shoot, maybe I don't even need a label. And so I went that route, and I actually, like, my first few songs that I put out got bought by Hollister, you know, that clothing store?
Yeah.
So then... So we made some pretty good money off, like, kind of out of the gates, and I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I don't need a label, and I could do this independent and this and that. But I found out very, very quickly that, like, it takes money to make money, and it takes money to be seen, and it's not even just money, it takes a whole team. So as far as, like, you know, now I've teamed up with Sony. I'm signed to Sony right now, and actually, which is now the Orchard, formerly Sony Red. And it's crazy. So I guess the biggest hurdle was thinking that I could do it by myself, when it really does take a village.
Wow. So I've spoken with just tons of different artists, different genres, just different places in their career and their life. And I always ask this question: what is your songwriting process? Because everybody's got something different. Like, some people are like, hey, I've got my iPad, I'm in a corner somewhere, and I'm just spitting stuff, I'm just putting stuff out. What is your songwriting process?
I can genuinely say that it varies quite a bit, but it all starts out on a voice note on my iPhone. Always.
Everybody
something in my head where I'm like, I think of something, and if it's like catchy, or I like the concept, or if I hear a melody in my head or something, then I'm like, hold up, am I stealing this from somebody? Because this is dope. And then I'll put the voice note down, and I'm like, no, this is mine, and then move on from there. So it doesn't always start off with a melody. Sometimes I'll hear a track that somebody sends me, and I'm like, wow, okay, I know exactly what I want on this.
So what for you was the inspiration behind Hennessy?
I mean, pretty plain and simple. Like, I'm a fan of Hennessy in general. Like, I'm not being paid to say this. I just, yeah, I mean,
as most of us are, absolutely.
Right. So, and then one of my good friends, his name's Duck. He's a producer. He showed me the track, and he did just like melodies with no lyrics on them at all. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't get Hennessy out of my head. I just kept singing it. And then I just like, all right, I'm gonna dive into this. And I kind of made it, for, I guess, lack of better words, it's kind of almost like a drunk dial off of Hennessy.
It is.
And yeah, so that's where that came from.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's such an adult, because I think you had to be in a certain age bracket to really get and understand. Like, Hennessy will put you out for the couch. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you if you're not careful, Hennessy will totally put you on your bum. Been there many times. Oh yeah,
like cancel your plans tomorrow.
Yeah, speaking for myself, like, I can't have Hennessy and be like, oh yeah, you know what, I'm gonna go drive to the mall. No, if I'm having Hennessy that night, wherever I'm at, that's just where I'm gonna be at for the end of the night. That's it.
That's what you're doing. Yeah.
Wow, that's just it. The collaboration with Quincy, how did that come about?
I've known Quincy for like a long time, actually. I met him at like a Dash radio party in LA. Mm-hmm. And full transparency, I didn't know who he was. Like, I didn't know that he was Abby Shore and Diddy's son, and I was just kind of like, people were coming up to him, like, as we're just chatting. You know when you meet somebody and you're like, oh, you're my people. Like you just get in the dog. You're like, okay. Vibe. I'm like, you're cool. And so we're like hanging out. We're just like literally just like diving in, talking about music, talking about everything. And people like keep coming up to him and like won't leave him alone. I'm like, what is happening? I'm like who am I talking to? And then he posted a video at Coachella with my song Move, and it was like him and like Amber Rose or something like that. Oh, wow. And people were hitting me up like, yo, is this your song? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's my homie Quincy. And then people are like, wait, what? How do you know Quincy? And I'm like, and that's when I found out, I'm like, oh, that's Diddy's son? I'm like, oh, I didn't even know. I just knew he was cool as hell. It was just like, so we were like, I don't know, we were just friends off the bat. And then so from there, I started writing for him. I wrote some songs for him. We'd be in the studio all the time, and I would just be just purely as like a writer-producer for him. Mm-hmm. And then on the artist side, we finally were like, yo, we got to collab on something. And when I showed him Hennessy, he's like, I'm on it. Let's go. And he did his when he was filming his show in Atlanta, and he just sent me a verse from Atlanta.
Wow. That's really cool. That's really awesome. Good people. It's good energy. Yeah. Good people usually attract other good people, so that's always good.
Yeah, let me just say, I'm going to say out loud, like, this dude he is cool as hell. It's crazy. Like, people can be set up to be entitled or to be, like, to be a certain way.
Yeah.
But he is not that way. Like, you're like, damn, you are just, like, cool as hell.
I love it. All right, so Devin, back to you. What is next on the agenda? Because I heard that there's a new single that's coming about. So I want to hear about that.
Yeah, it's called Best Friends.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's honestly now more than ever. So I wrote this song in Mexico. My wife is actually born and raised in Mexico, and it's a love song. And the love song is not about her at all.
Okay. Did that make it for an interesting evening, Devin?
No, I wrote a love song to myself.
Okay.
I feel like now more than ever, people need self-love, right? I'm like, and so yeah. I don't want to give too much away, but it's basically about, I don't know if you've ever had these moments, and where you kind of like, maybe you drank a little bit too much. I don't know if you ate a weed brownie. I don't know, whatever you did, but you know, when you have these moments and you like look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, all right, only I can get through this. It's just me and you. Let's do it. And so I had one of those kind of, and I just wrote a love song to myself, and it's actually pretty amazing. I'm super excited about it.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, what advice can you offer to any new artists out there that, we're dealing with this quarantine life, we're dealing with how everything is fluctuating with the industry and streams and record sales. What advice could you offer to any new artist?
Honestly, my advice would be just focus on what you want to do. Focus on your specific goals with music, and realize, here's a huge thing. Realize that there's no such thing as making it. Like, if you're enjoying the process and you're putting out music that you are proud of, then you're making it. And it's like, and especially in a time right now, like of such oversaturation of everybody being on Instagram and everything just getting lost in the noise. Like, just have faith in your music and put out the best product you can and keep it moving. Just keep swimming.
Gotcha. Love it. Devin Kirtz, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you so much. Let everyone know the best way to follow you and find out more information on you and what's going to be happening next.
We got a new song coming out this Friday, August 21st. You can follow me everywhere on @Devin Kirtz. DevinKirtz.
Sounds like a plan, Devin. Much more success to you. Kudos to you and your team. I know it takes a village to make all this stuff happen. People think it's, he just woke up one day and just, bam, bam, perfect hit. No, it takes work. So much more success to you and your team. And thank you to each and every one of you guys for all of your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.